Yo, what's up you guys? Teddy Striker here, and the UFC is apparently planning on having 6 to 7 title fights on the White House card, which I personally don't really get. Like, that wouldn't make any sense to have that many title fights. I mean, from a business perspective, the UFC, it would be a lot better for them to only have 2 or maybe 3 title fights on that card compared to having basically all of their champions on one card. That doesn't make any sense. Even if you want it to be a big card, like, you can still have a massive card without having all the champions. Like, UFC 300 was a massive card and it only had 2 official title fights. And me personally, I don't think this should be like a crazy significant event. I mean, it's like the UFC White House. It's not like it's UFC 300 where it's like 300 UFC pay-per-views. Like, this is an event that is only really significant to the United States, and even at that, it's only going to be like a few amount of people in the arena. It's not going to be like the T-Mobile Arena or the Toyota Center. It's not going to be anything like that. It's just going to be a couple of billionaires watching that, or special guests that the UFC invites.
Some guy fought and he said that he doesn't really want to fight in front of billionaires, and I do understand that. And I was like, that makes sense, bro. So I think I'd want to do the White House. Yeah, if there was some kind of like inclusion for like fans. So if there was some kind of inclusion for fans, it'd be more. But like, you know, just to go hang out the fucking Epstein list, I'm good, dog. I'm good, dude.
What?
So I definitely don't think we should be seeing 6 or 7 title fights on that card. But I do think it should be still a fairly good card. And the way the UFC can actually make this a good card, in my opinion, is by having the main event be Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira. That is a fight that both guys want. And also, I think the whole theme of the White House should be United States versus the world. I think that'd be pretty interesting to see. But have the main event be Jon Jones, an American, versus Alex Pereira, a Brazilian. I think that would be a great fight. Pereira wants to move out to heavyweight. It doesn't need a title fight. That is a massive fight. I guarantee you there would be more people watching this than if you had any other title fight. Like, this is a massive fight. It's Jon Jones and the biggest star in the sport, Alex Pereira, fighting. Like, that is an unbelievable fight. Everyone wants to see it. And in the co-main event, I would have Conor McGregor return and fight Michael Chandler again. USA versus the world, an American and Michael Chandler taking on an Irishman and Conor McGregor. I think that'd be a great fight. It'd be lovely to see Conor McGregor return, and that fight is going to be exciting. You can make that a 5-round co-main event as well, and I don't think Conor McGregor would mind if he was on the undercard of Jon Jones and Alex Pereira. Another fight I will put on there is Sugar Sean O'Malley, an American, versus Umar Nurmagomedov, a Russian fighter. And I feel like both guys, like, yes, Sean O'Malley is fighting Sonya Dawn pretty soon, but if he wins that fight, I don't want to see him go into another title fight after Merab destroyed him. I mean, O'Malley is on a 2-fight losing streak, so you're telling me he goes out there, gets 1 win, and then he's right back into the title shot? I don't want to see that. I would much rather see him actually prove that he can be the best in the world. It's not like he was a dominant champion. I mean, he defended the title against Chito Vera, which practically almost everybody in the weight class in the top 5 has beaten. And then you consider Umar Nurmagomedov, who is currently on a 1-fight win streak. He just beat Mario Batista, which is a really good win. And now he's fighting Davison Figueiredo, which I think he's going to win. But I think having another win would really be good for him. And a fight like O'Malley would be a big fight and a big opportunity. And then at the end of the year, you can put the winner of that fight into a title shot, because then they would have earned it. So that way you can let Merab really rest, let him have his time off so he can recover, and he's obviously going to get the rematch. And that way we can set up a fight later in the year, the winner of Umar and O'Malley versus the winner of Rion and Merab. But another fight I would like to see on the White House, and I think the UFC should book, is Sean Brady versus Gabriel Bonfim. Again, the theme here is USA versus the world. You got an American and Sean Brady versus a Brazilian and Gabriel Bonfim. I think this will be a pretty special matchup. I would favor Gabriel Bonfim. I think he is better on the feet than Sean Brady. And on the ground, Gabriel Bonfim is really good too. He's got great jiu-jitsu. I think he'll win, but let's have another USA versus the world type matchup. I think that would be great, and I feel like Sean Brady would be the type of guy to want to fight on this card. But another matchup I would like to see on this card is Jan Blachowicz versus Jamal Hill. Now, Jamal Hill is currently recovering from his knee injuries, and he talked about how he wants to make sure he's at 100% before he returns. So I feel like him returning in June would be a lot of time for him to hopefully recover and fight Jan Blachowicz. I mean, both guys are former champions. They had a little bit of beef because of the whole Jamal Hill and Joanna situation, because like Jamal Hill threatened to knock her out. Jan Blachowicz saw that, and he's like kind of coming to her defense, and they're gonna settle it in the cage. And it's actually a pretty good matchup. Both guys like to strike. They got a lot of power in their hands, former champions, and I think it would just be a great matchup on the White House. And another matchup I would like to see is Colby Chaos Covington versus Gilbert Burns. I know Colby Covington talked about how he's planning on moving to the middleweight division, but I feel like the fighters in that weight class are just going to be a little bit too big for him. I mean, look at a guy like Brennan Allen or a guy like Jerkis Duplessis compared to Colby. Those guys are massive compared to him. They cut a lot of weight. They're essentially light heavyweights fighting in the middleweight division. And I don't know. I don't think it would be too well for Colby to move up. If anything, he should probably move down. But I think him versus Gilbert Burns would be a great matchup. They're both from the same era, like the 2019 to 2022 welterweight era. I mean, those guys were like Kamaru Usman, Jorge Masvidal, Leon Edwards, Colby, and Gilbert. Like, they were in that same era, and they never really fought each other. I thought they could have at some point, but we never saw that matchup. Colby did call out Gilbert Burns, and Gilbert Burns did call him out ages ago, but the fight never actually happened. But now I think it would be a great time to see it happen. And again, it follows the theme of USA versus the world. Gilbert Burns being the Brazilian and Colby being the American. And one last fight that could potentially be on this card, if they really need a title fight, I think they could do Amanda Nunes versus Kayla Harrison too. As honestly, if it was me running the show, I would put John Jones and Alex Pereira as the main event, Conor McGregor, Michael Chandler co-main event, and then the title fight as a feature fight, which might sound crazy, but I do feel like those two fights will bring a lot more attention compared to that title fight. But again, you have an American and Kayla Harrison taking on a Brazilian, which would be a good fight. We're going to see it in a few weeks, and I don't expect this fight to be a squash match, like with either fighter winning in the first or second round. I do feel like we're going to see a competitive fight, and regardless of what happens, I do expect that we will see a rematch. So why not have it on the White House? But those are all the fights that I think the UFC should put on the White House. I definitely don't want to see 6 or 7 title fights. Let's do USA versus the world. Have American fighters take on fighters from all over the world at the UFC White House. And I believe this will be a great card. The main event, John Jones versus Pereira. Co-main event, Conor versus Chandler. Feature fight, Nunes versus Harrison. Then you got Colby Covington versus Gilbert Burns. Sean O'Malley versus Umar Nurmagomedov. Jan Blachowicz versus Jamal Hill. And Sean Brady versus Gabriel Bonfim. All those fights will be great. So I think this is how the UFC should book the White House. But let me know your thoughts down below. How do you think the UFC should book the White House card? But thank you guys for watching. God bless. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one.